everybody, this is the second video for the past simple, and we are discussing the negative and the question form, okay? Now, it is very important to understand the present simple before trying to understand the past simple, especially because they have the same auxiliary, do and did, okay? Now, obviously, the auxiliary in the negative form, we need to add not. So, don't and didn't. All right? Let's look at some examples. We have, I don't play football, and I didn't play football yesterday. Okay? Now, obviously, I don't play football is in general because it is the present simple, so it's a habitual action or a fact. In the past simple, I need a specific time for a finished past action. So I didn't play football yesterday. Yesterday tells me that this is a past. However, if you notice, don't play football and didn't play football, play doesn't change. All right? This is because the auxiliary is already conjugated. Okay? So, like don't shows us it's in the present, didn't shows us it's in the past. Remember, did is the past conjugation of the verb do. And so, technically, we're using the same auxiliary, just conjugated in a different way. So, let's look at some other examples with some different subjects. We have you don't play football, and you didn't play football yesterday. Okay? As you can see, quite similar. He doesn't play football. So remember, in the present, you need the third person S for the auxiliary. In the past, it is still didn't. So he didn't play football yesterday. We don't play football. We didn't play football yesterday. And they don't play football, and they didn't play football yesterday. Okay? As you can see, there are not a lot of differences. In fact, there are really only two big ones. Don't becomes didn't, and didn't is the same for all of the different subjects. And then we have a specific time in the past, normally at the end of a sentence. In fact, yesterday is our specific time. So let's look at some other examples with different verbs. Remember, today we're only talking about regular verbs, but you can remember that for the negative form and the question form, even irregular verbs stay in the base form. So now let's take a look at a few examples with different verbs. I didn't watch the game yesterday. Okay, so yesterday specifies the time, that's in the past. Didn't is the negative, and watch is in the base form. You didn't arrive on time to class 2 days ago. He didn't live in the UK last year. We didn't like the film yesterday. They didn't pass the exam last week. Now, as you can see, all of these have different subjects, they all have different verbs, they even have different times specified, okay? But please notice that the negative did not change. And the verb is never conjugated. It's always in the base form or the infinitive form, okay? So, just remember, if you know the verb, you can use it in the negative, okay? And to make the negative a past, instead of don't, use didn't, all right? Now, let's take a look at some questions. The question form is the same as the present simple question form, okay? And it will be the same also in other tenses. It is question word, auxiliary, subject, and verb. Now, let's look at some examples. What did you watch on TV yesterday? And as you can see, what is the question word. Did is the auxiliary. You is the subject. And watch is the verb. So the actual order of the question is the same both in the present simple and in the past simple. You just need to remember that do in the present simple becomes did in the past. So what did you watch yesterday, not what do you watch every day, okay? Two different questions, two different times. Who did you play football with last week? Or where did you live last year? And when did you arrive at school today? So, look at the questions. Look at the verbs specifically. Just like the negative form, the verbs are not conjugated. They are in the base form, okay? So, we have all of the verbs that are not conjugated. The only thing that is conjugated is the auxiliary, did. But did is always the same. So, just remember, question form, question word, auxiliary, subject, and verb. If you can remember that, and you know what the auxiliary is, you should have no problem making a question in the past simple. Alright? So, remember, the past simple is used with finished past actions, so you need to say when it happened, okay? If you don't remember the positive form, you can see that in the other video. But, let's review a little bit. We have didn't, which is the negative form of the auxiliary, and did, which is the form we use in the questions, okay? So, remember to study. See you next time.